How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, we're going to look at what it really costs you to drive your car every single mile. Now, the IRS suggests a reimbursement of about 54 cents every single mile. And now your company might pay you exactly that, a little bit more or a little bit less. So if you figure out how much it really costs you per mile, you can compare it to that and figure out if you're actually gaining money for every single mile that you're driving or that you're losing money. So let's check that out. I'm going to use a Honda Civic as a base case. Actually, a Camry is actually a more popular car. It is the most popular car actually in 2016. But Honda Civic is not far behind. And I'm going to use this just because I like that one a little bit better than a Camry as a base case. Over here, you'll find a Scatterplot on all the prices I could find on the Honda Civic Coupe. Now, the X-axis is actually the mileage of that car. And the y-axis is actually the price of the car. So every single point represents one single car. Now the years of these cars are not shown. Sometimes a 2012 car might be more expensive than a 2013 car, depending on the mileage. Generally, you can see that the line kind of goes downwards. If you look at the equation, it says every single mile you drive, you're going to depreciate your car roughly 8.5 cents. Now this is kind of optimistic because every single year the depreciation is a little different. It's steepest right when you buy the car. This car costs about $23,000 new, and you can see right when you have a few miles on it, it depreciates roughly $5,000 immediately. Something to note is that you can easily reproduce this chart because you can just write down the price and the mileage of various cars that you're looking at and then make this chart, okay? And you can see all those little points at the bottom of this general shape actually represents a really good value because it's underpriced from the average. Now all those points above means they're overpriced. So you grab a whole bunch of cars that you're interested in, all the same model, you plot the price and the mileage, and you can kind of figure out which one is cheaper. Now you may need to factor in the color, other little factors like features and stuff. But if you look at this plot and just look at the points towards the bottom, that can kind of narrow things down and go, hey, those ones at the bottom are really good deals, so why don't you just start from there? Now trying to figure out the depreciation for your car for every single year might be a little bit difficult because it's different every single year. Now instead, I went to the Edmunds website. They have this calculator called the total cost of ownership, and it'll show you like the first 5 years of how much the car actually costs you. So I looked up the total cost to own for a Honda Civic, and they list various things for the total cost that you actually have to pay for that car every single year. They list things like depreciation, taxes and fees, financing, fuel, insurance, maintenance, repairs, and tax credit. Well, you don't get tax credit because it's not an electric car. Depreciation, yes, it's going to vary by a little bit. Taxes and fees, yes, you're going to have taxes such as the license taxes, and so this number is reasonable. Financing, you may not have financing because maybe you bought the whole car in cash, or you saved up for it and then you bought it fully. Fuel prices changes all the time, and it may depend on how you drive as well. Now, every single year that's listed here is actually for 15,000 miles. So that's just what it assumes. So every single year you're driving 15,000 miles, and then the next year it'll depreciate, you know, whatever it says over here. Insurance also changes depending if you're trying to get one-way, two-way, depending on how good your record is. Maybe you got really good record or bad record, which would cause that value here on their guess to change a bit. Maintenance is probably the ballpark as well because you could do it yourself and get it cheaper, or you can get ripped off a lot and do it at the dealership a bit. So it's a ballpark guess here. So all of these numbers is just kind of like an estimate. It's a ballpark guess, but it's a good one. You can just take it without doing a lot of calculation yourself on exactly what you spent, and then you can take this number and figure out exactly how much it costs you to drive it every single mile. So over here you'll see the total cost to own is the same numbers as before. I just pulled it from that website, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and since it's 15,000 miles for every single year, you just divide this total cost by 15,000 miles. So you see, even for this Honda Civic, which is a relatively low priced car, it's going to cost you 62 cents to drive this car because it's factoring depreciation, insurance, all those other things I listed before. And then you look at how much you actually get reimbursed, 54 cents. You're actually on the losing end if you drive a brand new car for your mileage reimbursements. So when you look at the very last line, you're actually losing 8 cents every single mile you drive for your work when you drive a brand new car. This is mostly true for any brand new car because If you buy a BMW, it will be even worse, okay? So if you bought a brand new car, it's definitely not worth it to drive it during the first year for work purposes. Subsequent years, you can see that every single mile, yeah, maybe you can make 17 cents, 18 cents, 16 cents, 6 cents or something, but you can see that that's really little, okay? People normally don't drive that many miles for work purposes. You don't rack that many miles. It's just good to know that you're not actually making maybe 30 cents or 40 cents if you only factor in the fuel. So I hope giving this example helps. You can go onto the website, which I'll link in the video description down below, and you can go check out how much it actually costs you for your own car. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below. Let me know if it helps you, if you're gonna drive more for reimbursement or whatnot. And don't forget to subscribe over here. Thanks for watching.